रांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। So we are in the 18th chapter. I told 19th chapter direct. 18th chapter we are in.
Shloka number 10, Mataji.
11 na? Then I done last time.
No, Mataji. Now up to 9th we did.
Paka?
Yes, Mataji. Yes, अभी मैंने recording सुना वापस.
Anyway, doesn't matter whether 19, 9 or 11, 9 or 10. So we will go to the 9th verse of 18th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto. We did.
Yes, Mataji. 10th shloka.
10th shloka. Ya yah katha bhagavatah katha kathaniyorukarmanah गुणकर्माश्रया पुंभि संसेव्यास्ता बुभूषुभिः. So यह कथा भागवतः कथनीया. So he says, those who like to hear the topics of Lord, those who are desirous of achieving complete perfection in life, what they should do, they should hear the topics of the Lord. They are connected to the transcendental qualities, activities of Krishna, who acts very wonderfully. So whatever katha I have told to you, Urukramaha, about him, Urukrama means one who does wonderful activity. He is known as Urukramaha. So now he has done wonderful activity, and Guna, discussing about his Guna, transcendental qualities, about his karma, that is uncommon deeds, Ashreya. In this way, one who takes shelter of the topics of Krishna, Ashreya, Kumbhi, such person, they should hear Samsevayaha, Sampurna Rupena Sevayaha. In this way, they are completely serving the Lord. So this is also service. Hearing is also service. Bhubhushavaha. Why are they doing this? For their own welfare. Whatsoever topics of the Lord, Kathaniha, I have spoken about him. So the people who are completely taken shelter, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, they have done it for their own welfare. Who is benefited by that? One who is hearing is always benefited. Okay. Raksha Mataji ji.
Hare Krishna. Transcendental activities, qualities, and name of the Lord, Shri Krishna pushes one towards eternal life. Systematic hearing means knowing Him gradually in truth and fact. And this knowing Him in truth and fact means attaining eternal life. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, such transcendental glorified activities of Lord Shri Krishna are the prescribed remedy for the counteracting the process of birth, death, old age, and disease, which are considered to be material awards for the condition living being. The culmination of such perfectional stage of life is the goal of human life and attainment of transcendental bliss.
So what has been given here by Baldev Vidyabhushan is Babhushoha. It is done with a desire for their own good. And one who does not do this is only wasting his own life. Rushaya uchuhu Suta Jiva Sama Saumya Shashwatir Vishwadam Yashaha Yastam Yastvam shamsasi krishnasya yastvam shamsasi krishnasya martyanam amrutam hinaha Suta Jiva. Now Suta Goswami, now Rishya is speaking. Rishya means all the rishis of Naimisharanya. They are asking to Suta Goswami. Suta Jiva Sama Soumya Samha Soumya. O Jiva, O Suta. Jiva Samaha. Jiva Samaha. That means we wish that you live long. Jiva Samaha. May you live many years. Soumya, having a great, wonderful personality. Shashwatihi, great, wonderful personality, eternal personality. Vishwadam. And then Yashaha Yahtvam. Shamsasi. We want to hear from you. You Yashaha means in fame. You live in fame. And we want to nicely hear about Krishna from you. Martyanam, Amrutam hi naha. So because you're speaking very wonderful topics about Krishna, and what it is for a dead person who are about to die, for them this is Amrita. Martyanam Amrutam hi naha. This is a nectar for mortal beings like us. So we wish that you live long. If you see in the first chapter also, they are praying to Suta Goswami that we pray that you live long. And in this way, we want that you should always speak about Krishna. We are giving all our blessings to you. Tatra janasi bhadram te, tatra tatranjasa ayushman. We are giving you long life. This is our blessing. Tatra tatranjasa ayushman bhavatayat vinishtam. Pumsam ekantah shreyas tanna shamsitam arhasi. Same thing has been spoken here. Tatra tatranjasa ayushman. We are giving you long life. We are giving you blessings. Same thing has been spoken here. Sota jiva samaha soumyaha. Shashwatir. Vishadam Yashaha. Shashwati means eternally let your fame be glorified everywhere. Today also we are speaking about Suta Goswami. The Suta Goswami Saunakadi Rishi Samvad. Suta Goswami, how he is explaining wonderfully about Krishna. So these are all the blessings which he has attained from the Shaunakadi Rishis. Yastam Shams, that means Shamsasi, Krishnasya. Whoever speaks about Krishna will eternally live. His fame will be eternally there. Like Srila Prabhupada is glorified even today in every houses. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. How many of us remember our grandfather's name? None of us are saying Jai somebody. We don't remember our grandfather's name. What to speak of great grandfather's name? We don't even remember also. But Prabhupada is remembered even by a small child. Why? He spoke about Krishna. Whoever speaks about Krishna, their fame will eternally remain. Whether their body remains or not, their fame will eternally remain. Because what they are giving nectar to the mortal beings. Okay. Mohit Prabhu, please read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. When we hear about the transcendental qualities and activities of the personality of Godhead, we may always remember what has been spoken by the Lord himself in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, text 9. His acts, even when he acts in human society, are all transcendental, for they are all accentuated by the spiritual energy of the Lord, which is distinguished from his material energy. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, such acts are called divyam. This means that he does not act or take his birth like an ordinary living being under the custody of material energy, nor is his body material nor changeable like that of ordinary living beings. And one who understands this fact either from the Lord or from authorized sources is not reborn after leaving the present material body. Such an intelligent soul is admitted to into the spiritual realm of the Lord and engages in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Therefore, the more we hear about the transcendental activities of the Lord as they are stated in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, the more we can know about his transcendental nature and thus make definite progress on the path back to Godhead. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
नाश्वासे कर्मणि अस्मिन्ननाश्वासे. We do not speak like this. कर्मण्यस्मिन्ननाश्वासे धूमधुम्रात्मनां भवान् आपाययति गोविन्द पादपद्मसवं मधु. कर्मण्यस्मिन्ननाश्वासे धूम्रात्मनां भवान् आपाययति गोविन्द पादपद्मसवं मधु. You see how it has been split in English. Karmani asmin anashvase. But while telling the verse, you cannot tell. You have to jointly tell. Karmanyasmin anashvase धूमधूम्रात्मनां भवान् आपाययति गोविन्द पादपद्मासवं मधु. Madhu, honey. What is honey? Krishna's name is honey. Karmani asmin anashvase. So we are performing what we are doing. We are doing the karma, isn't it? Dhuma dhumra atmanam. Dhuma dhumra atmanam. So they are telling to Sutta Goswami, we are doing some sacrifice, and that is creating a smoke. We are performing some fruitive activity, a sacrificial fire. And we know that is not a perfection of our life also, but that is only creating smoke. Dhumra atmanam. In this way, it is only blackening our body and mind. Your good self, Bhavan, apayayati. Please speak us very wonderful words about Govinda. Pada Padma Ashvasam, the nectar of the lotus flower, honey. So we want to hear from you about Lord. Because till now, we have been performing sacrifice. Go to chapter 1. What they do early morning, it is given. What they were doing early morning. They were performing some sacrifice. In the Naimisharanya, what they were doing? Naimisharanya kshetre Rushaya Shaunakadaya Satram Swargaya Lokaya Sahasra Samamasata. For 1,000 years, they were performing sacrifice. Ka ekadatu muneha pratar hutotagneha Satkrutam Sutimasinam Praprachoridamadarat. When they were doing that, one day, one fine morning, Sutta Goswami came. Now the talks are going on. What we are into? We are just performing Swaha, Swaha. All fruitive activities are sacrificial fire, karma kand, sacrificial fire. We are not getting the chance to hear about Krishna. Oh, you have come. You have come with madhu. You have come with honey. And what is that honey? The glories of the holy name, the glories of the Yashaha of Krishna. So we want to hear. Anyhow, we have blackened our body so much. 1,000 years. If a person is only doing swaha, swaha, not hearing anything about Krishna, what will happen? All the suit has just, they are not only saying it has blackened our body, it has blackened our mind also. That means the mind which should be thinking about Krishna, what we are doing? We are just into sacrificial offerings. And we are only performing fruitive activity. And this is not certainly the goal of life. This is not the goal of life. The goal of life is not the perfection of our senses also. It's not the perfection of our action also. So our goal of life is to hear about Krishna, and you have brought about Govinda, the nectar of Govinda, that is Madhu, which you are distributing. Okay, Arunadev.
Hare Krishna. Prabhupada ki jai. The sacrificial fire kindled by the sages of Naimisharanya was certainly full of smoke and doubts because of so many flaws. The first flaw is that there is an acute scarcity of expert brahmanas able to carry out such performances successfully in this age of Kali. Any discrepancy in such sacrifices spoils the whole show and the result is uncertain, like agricultural enterprises. The good result of tilling the paddy field depends on the providential rain and therefore the result is uncertain. Similarly, performance of any kind of sacrifice in this age of Kali is also uncertain. Unscrupulous, greedy Brahmanas of the age of Kali induce the innocent public to such uncertain sacrificial shows without disclosing the spiritual injection that in the age of Kali there is no fruitful sacrificial performance, but the sacrifice of the congregational chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Suta Goswami was narrating the transcendental activities of the Lord before the congregation of sages, and they were factually perceiving the result of hearing these transcendental activities. One can feel this practically as one can feel the result of eating food. Spiritual realization acts in that way. The sages of Naimisharanya were practically sufferers from the smoke of a sacrificial fire and were doubtful about the result. But by hearing from a realized person like Suta Goswami, they were fully satisfied. In the Brahma Vivarta Purana, Vishnu tells Shiva that in the age of
It's
Kali,
not Vivarta, Vaivarta.
Vaivarta. In the Brahma Vaivarta Purana, Vishnu tells Shiva that in the age of Kali, men full of anxieties of various kinds can vainly labor in fruitive activity and philosophical speculations, but when they are engaged in devotional service, the result is sure and certain, and there is no loss of energy. In other words, nothing performed for spiritual realization or for material benefit can be successful without the devotional service to the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Okay, nothing performed for spiritual realization or for material benefit can be successful without the devotional service to the Lord. Nothing performed for spiritual realization. If it is not performed for spiritual realization or for material benefit, can be successful without the devotional service to the Lord. Okay, even if you want to have devotional spiritual realization, it cannot be had by without service to Krishna. Without service, this line you just see what Prabhupada has written. In other words, nothing performed for spiritual realization or for material benefits can be successful. Nothing can be successful. In other words, do anything. Nothing can be successful. If you want liberation also, you want some material benefits, whatever you want, it cannot be successful without the devotional service to the Lord. That means even to have material benefit also, first serve Krishna. Akamo sarva kamo va moksha kamo daridihi tivrena bhakti yogena nijeti purusha param. You go to Krishna without desire, you go to Krishna with multiple desire. Doesn't matter. But perform devotional service. Devotional service is the topmost. The person is engaged in devotional service, everything, result is sure and certain. It has been given. And then how a person is engaged in devotional service? By the association of devotees. That is why even a moment of association of devotee, that cannot be even compared to attainment of heavenly planets that has been given. Tulyam lavenapi na swargam napnunarbhavam. Tulyam lavenapi na swargam napunarbhavam. Bhagavat sangi sangasya martyanam kim utashishaha. Tulyam lavenapi na swargam napunarbhavam. Bhagavat sangi sangasya martyanam kimuta shiva. Let us see. Tulyam. Tulyam means comparison. When you are comparing a moment's association, lavena, apihi, The moment association of a devotee cannot be compared with the attainment of heavenly planet, nor the liberation from matter. Bhagavat Sangi, devotees of the Lord, Sangasya, just association of the devotee of the Lord. Martyaram kim uta ashishaha. So it has been spoken that even a devotee is just an association of the devotees, that is enough. What is going to be attained by this worldly benedictions? They are actually meant for death. Whatever worldly benedictions are there, even if you become very rich man, that is useful for your death, or isn't it? You go to the best hospitals. You have sandalwood for burning yourself. So whatever material benedictions are there, that is meant for death, which are for those who are meant for death. This is one meaning. That is actually meant for the persons who are dying. It is going to be useful only for them only. Material benedictions end. Matter ends with our death. The moment we die, all material things are gone. Spiritual things go with us. So that is why moments association of the devotee is such a wonderful. We should hanker for that. Yes. Vrindavan Lila Mataji from YouTube, Mataji jumped in the class because she wants to have association of devotees.
When there are some similar points, it is possible to compare one thing to another. One cannot compare the association of a pure devotee to anything material. Men who are addicted to material happiness aspire to reach the heavenly planets like the moon, Venus, and Indralok. And those who are advanced in material philosophical speculations aspire after liberation from all material bondage. When one becomes frustrated with all kinds of material advancement, one desires the opposite type of liberation, which is called apunarbhava, or no rebirth. But the pure devotees of the Lord do not aspire after the happiness obtained in the heavenly kingdom, nor do they aspire after liberation from material bondage. In other words, for the pure devotees of the Lord, the material pleasures obtainable in the heavenly planets are like phantasmagoria. And because they are already liberated from all material conceptions of pleasures and distress, they are factually liberated even in the material world. This means that the pure devotees of the Lord are engaged in a transcendental existence, namely in the loving service of the Lord, both in the material and in the spiritual world. As a government servant is always the same, either in the office or at home or at any place. So a devotee has nothing to do with anything material, for he is exclusively engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord. Since he has nothing to do with anything material, what pleasure can he derive from material benedictions like kingship or other overlordships, which are finished quickly with the end of the body? Devotional service is eternal. It has no end because it is spiritual. Therefore, since the assets of a pure devotee are different from material assets, there's no comparison between the two. Suta Goswami was a pure devotee of the Lord, and therefore his association with the rishis in Naimisharanya is unique. In the material world, association with gross materialists is veritably condemned. The materialist is called Yoshita Sangi, or one who is much attached to material entanglement, women and other paraphernalia. Such attachment is conditioned because it drives away the benedictions of life and prosperity. And just the opposite is Bhagavata Sangi, or one who is always in the association with the Lord's name, form, qualities, etc. Such association is always desirable, it is worshipable, it is praiseworthy, and one may accept it as the highest goal of life. Hare Krishna Mataji.
So this is the highest goal of life, association of the devotees by which Bhakta Bhakti Bhagavan. Now, what is the work of the devotees to glorify Krishna? And Krishna's glorification or attributes cannot be even understood by great personalities like Lord Shiva, Brahma, even they cannot understand that has been given. Or those who are drinking this nectar, they are never satisfied. That means they are hankering more and more. Isn't it? Dil mange more. So what is that? That is hankering for hearing more and more. Ultimately, if you see in every class what we are studying Bhakti. By only Bhakti we can go back home, back to God. Every day we are studying the same thing. But whenever we are hearing Navanama Rasadham Yudyatum Rantum Asit, Yamunacharya says, every time we are hearing the same thing, Samman Bonam is what? Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. This is the Samman Bonam. Whether Ghuma Fira ke Parikshit Maharaj Katha hai, any Katha, Gajendra Maharaj Katha, or Ajamil Katha, we are hearing the same thing. The devotion is never lost. But you see, when we are hearing, we are experiencing something different every time. And every time there is some new rasa involved. And Yamunacharya clearly says, Yad avadhi mama Krishna padar vindayoho nava nava rasadam yuddhatum rantum asit. Let my mind be always focused in Krishna. How many times you would have studied Bhagavad Gita? Now again we are going to repeat Bhagavatam. Now when you repeat Bhagavatam, you will experience nava nava rasadam yuddhatum rantum asit. You will experience that. You will experience a new rasa. That is all. That is why Nityam Bhagavata Seve. In temples, when all hey, mute your phones. Jaimon Prabhu, mute your phone.
Mute.
So it's being here only. Keeping. Okay. So every time, if you see in the temple, once they finish the Bhagavatam, again they'll start with the Bhagavatam. Once they finish the Bhagavad Gita, again they'll start with the Bhagavad Gita. But every time you ask the preacher who has done it, he will also experience you ask the listener, he will also experience something new every time. That is why Krishna's topics are never old. Krishna's topics are always new because he is also Navayauvanam. He is never old. That has been given. Ko nama tubhyeda rasavit kathayam mahattamaikkanta parayanasya nantam gunanam agunasya jangmur yogeshwaraye bhavapadma mukhyaha. Ko nama trupyeda. Whoever is he satisfied? Ask him. Are you really satisfied? You will not find a person who is satisfied. Trupyeda. Kathayam. That means he wants to hear more. That is why he's not having that satisfaction. Like somebody gives you just half ice cream. Hey, why is only half ice cream? Should give me full ice cream, na? Then he gives full ice cream. You say, no, a little more. But how much will you eat? Then you say, oh, पेट भर गया मन नहीं भरा. Sometimes you say, na, the food is very nice. पेट भर गया मन नहीं भरा. The same thing. Same thing. If you hear Krishna Katha, you want to hear more. In fact, you want to hear every day. If a person is advanced in devotional service, he drinks it. He drinks the nectar. He drinks the juice. So it may sound like a medicine, rasayanam for a conditioned soul. But for a person who is self-realized, Krishna Katha is a nectar. Which is that verse? Who can tell? 10th canto. Which is that verse?
10?
Yes.
Nivritta Tarshair.
Nivritta Tarshair Upagiyamana Bhavaushada Shotra Manobhirama Kauttama Shloka Gulanuvada Puman Virajeta Vina Pashubnat. Who is not hearing Krishna Katha, what they are doing? They are killing themselves. And Nivritta Tarshair, whoever hears Krishna Katha, their material desires are automatically gone. Nivritta Tarshair Upagiyamana Bhavaushada. It is a Bhavaushadi. Shrotra Manobhirama. At the same time, it is Mano Abhirama. That means it is a nectar. So ko nama trupyeda rasan rasavit kathayam, rasavit katham, it is full of rasa. Mahatamaikanta parayanasya mahat mahat. Now rasavit means expert in drinking the rasa. Rasavit, like you say, na vedavit, vedavadartaha, vedavit, one who is expert in studying the Vedas. Rasavit, who is expert in drinking the rasa. Kathayam, is expert in drinking the katha, but still he is not satisfied. Mahattama, so that person is Mahattama, the greatest among the living entities. Ekanta parayanasya, he is always taking shelter. Na antam gunanam agunasya, he is taking shelter of Krishna, who has so many qualities. And how are the qualities? Transcendental qualities. But Jagamo yoga ishwareha ye bhava padma mukhyahi na has been given. That means that attributes cannot be understood by even great personalities like Lord Shiva and Brahma. That cannot be measured. Like when Krishna is eating along with all his friends, he's enjoying the picnic near, sitting on the banks of Yamuna, exchanging such a wonderful transcendental mellows, taking out from the mouth of his friend, putting in his mouth, opening his mouth, friends take from his mouth, they are taking. Brahmaji is completely surprised what is going on. Because just now he saw Aghasur being killed by Krishna. He came to conclusion, yes, he is my Narayana, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's understood that much. After that, he is seeing this type of exchanges, loving exchanges. Immediately, he is having a doubt. Is this boy really the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Because as much as I know, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is fed with all the mantras. What mantras here? No mantras. Hey, Krishna, eat. Somebody is removing the aloo from samosas. You know that Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur writes. They remove the aloo from samosa, put flour in the samosa, and they feed Krishna, and Krishna makes a face. Then all the friends clap the hands. No, I used to do this. I used to remove all the aloo and give all that upper cutting to my sister. So when I read this Leela, I like this Leela. Why? Because aloo is removed. So somebody must have eaten that aloo. And in that put flour and give to Krishna, and to Krishna's face, how it will become. Kadava only. So these all wonderful dealings are happening between the friends and Krishna. Gopasakhas. So even Brahma cannot understand. Shiva also cannot understand. And Krishna's qualities cannot be even measured. That has been given. So is there anyone, that is a question, Kahanama trupyeda rasavit kathayam, is there anyone who is expert in releasing the nectar ever be fully satiated by hearing topics about Krishna? Can you find someone who is really satisfied? If you are satisfied, then you will not be joining Bhakti Vaibhava again. If you are not satisfied, you will join. So you decide. If you are Rasavit, Rasavit means who wants to eagerly drink the rasa again, will again satisfy, again join. No fees for your this time. Don't have tension. Again, we have to pay or what? No fees. Just hear. Hear and speak. Hear and speak. So many speaking opportunity will come. Hearing opportunity will come. Speaking opportunity is also going to come. Okay. Who is going to Bindu Mataji read?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma are two chiefs of the demigods. They are full of mystic powers. For example, Lord Shiva drank an ocean of poison, of which one drop was sufficient to kill an ordinary living being. Similarly, Brahma could create many powerful demigods, including Lord Shiva. So they are Ishwaras or lords of the universe, but they are not the supreme powerful. The supreme powerful is Govinda. Lord Krishna. He is the transcendent, and his transcendental attributes cannot be measured even by such powerful Ishwaras as Shiva and Brahma. Therefore, Lord Krishna is the exclusive shelter of the greatest of all living beings. Brahma is counted amongst the living beings, but he is the greatest of all of us. But why is the greatest of all the living beings so much attached to the transcendental topics of Lord Krishna? Because he is the reservoir of all enjoyment. Everyone wants to relish some kind of taste in everything, but one who is engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord can derive unlimited treasures from such engagement. The Lord is the unlimited, and his name, attributes, pastimes, entourage, variegatedness, etc. are unlimited. And those who relish them can do so unlimitedly and still not feel satiated. This fact is confirmed in the Padma Purana. Ramate yogino anante satyananda chit atmani iti rama padenya padena ho
So,
param brahma vid diyate.
in which verse this has come in Bhagavad Gita, which chapter? Homework. Where Srila Prabhupada has put this quote? Ramante yogino anante satyananda chidatmati piramakadena so
Brahma diyate.
param brahma vidiyate. Okay.
The mystics derive unlimited transcendental pleasures from the absolute truth, and therefore the supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, is also known as Rama. There is no end to such transcendental discourses. In mundane affairs, there is the law of satiation, but in the transcendent, there is no such satiation. Suta Goswami desired to continue the topic of Lord Krishna before the sages of Naimisharanya, and the sages also expressed their readiness to hear from him continuously. Since the Lord is transcendent and his attributes are transcendental, such discourses increase the receptive mood of the purified audiences. Hare Krishna.
Oh, Sutta Goswami, you are very pure, you are very learned. That is why we want to hear from you. Even in the first chapter also you find. You please describe, because you are very saumya. Your nature is very pure. Only one who is saumya, one whose nature is very pure, can very nicely describe the transcendental qualities of Krishna. So in this way, Sutta Goswami is glorified. And now also the similar verse is there. If you see, which is that verse, just see. About the qualities. Yes, you are very submissive. The spiritual masters endowed you with all the favorable favors bestowed upon a gentle disciple. Yet tattvam somitat sarvam tatvatastad anugrahat yustiktasya shishyasya guru apyita. You can tell us that you have scientifically learned from them. Whatever you have heard from Sukadeva Goswami, you please give us, because you are a gentle person. You are submissive. Yattattvam saumyatat sarvam tatvatastad anugrahat. Why you have got the anugraha? Because you are saumya. Saumya means you are very gentle. Brihusnigdasya shishyasya guru apyuta. Please tell us that what you have heard from your spiritual master. So in the same way here also, if you see, the same verse has been spoken. Tanno bhavan vai bhagavat pradhano mahattamaikkanta parayanasya harer udaram charitam vishuddham shushrushatam no vitanotu vidvan. Tanno bhavan, yourself, how you are Bhagavat Pradhanaha. For you, everything is Krishna. Your life is centered around Krishna. That means your object of service is Krishna. Mahattama, you are the greatest of all the greats. Ekanta Parayanasya. You have exclusively taken shelter of Krishna. Harerudaram charitam vishuddham. You are only speaking about Krishna. Shushrushatam. Shushrushatam. We are anxious to hear. Shushrushatam. We are anxious to hear. Naha. Naha means ourselves. Vitnoti vidvan. You please describe to us. You describe to us. We are anxious to hear about the topics of Krishna. Why? You are very learned and you are a pure devotee. Tannaha bhavan yava bhagavat pradhana mahattam ekanta parayanasya harerudaram charitam vishuddham shushrushatam naha vitanotu vidvan. So here very clearly it has been said, yourself is so wonderful. We want to hear from you because you're very learned and a pure devotee. Kankanga Chaitanya Prabhu, please read. Sometimes you may be searching the verse. Where is learned? Where is pure devotee? All these things you may be thinking that is all given in one word, Mahattama. What is it? Mahattama, you are the greatest of the great. Who is the greatest of the great? One whose tolerance is topmost. One's humility is the top. How will you identify who is a great person? Just by seeing his money, seeing his power, seeing his academic knowledge? No. By seeing how humble he is, just by his greatest humility, you can understand he is the most greatest of great. By seeing his strength, you can understand he is the greatest of the great. Prabhupada, how he writes him.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। तात्पर्य श्रील प्रभुपाद जी के द्वारा श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। भगवान के दिव्य कार्यकलापों के
Okay.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। भगवान के दिव्य कार्यकलापों के वक्ता का एक ही लक्ष्य होना चाहिए और वह है पूर्ण पुरुषोत्तम भगवान की पूजा तथा सेवा। और ऐसी कथाओं के श्रोताओं को इन्हें सुनने के लिए आतुर होना चाहिए। जब ऐसा संयोग संभव हो जाता है, अर्थात जब योग्य वक्ता तथा योग्य श्रोता का संयोग होता है, तभी दिव्य के विषय में अत्यंत सौहार्दपूर्ण वार्ता हो पाती है। व्यवसायिक वक्ता तथा भौतिकता में लिप्त श्रोता ऐसी वार्ताओं से कभी वास्तविक लाभ नहीं उठा पाते। व्यवसायिक वक्ता वाचक अपने परिवार के भरण पोषण के लिए भागवत सप्ताह का दिखावा करते हैं और भौतिकता ग्रस्त श्रोता भागवत सप्ताह की इन वार्ताओं को किसी न किसी भौतिक लाभ तथा धार्मिकता, संपत्ति, इंद्र तुष्टि तथा मोक्ष के लिए सुनते हैं। भागवत की ऐसी वार्ताएं भौतिक गुणों के कल्मश से शुद्ध नहीं रहती, लेकिन नैमिषारण्य के मुनियों तथा शील सुत गोस्वामी के मध्य चल रही वार्ताएं दिव्य स्तर पर थी। इनमें भौतिक लाभ का कोई भी उद्देश्य नहीं था। ऐसी वार्ताओं में श्रोता तथा वक्ता दोनों को असीम दिव्य आनंद की प्राप्ति होती है। अतः वे ऐसी वार्ताओं को हजारों वर्षों तक चालू रख सकते हैं। अब तो भागवत सप्ताह केवल 7 दिनों तक रखा जाता है और खेल खत्म करने के बाद श्रोता तथा वक्ता दोनों पहले की तरह भौतिक कार्यों में लग जाते हैं। वे ऐसा कर सकते हैं कि क्योंकि वक्ता भागवत प्रधान नहीं है और श्रोता भी श्रुताम नहीं है, जैसा कि ऊपर कहा गया है। थैंक यू माता जी। हरे कृष्ण।
Okay. So what has been given? They can do so because the speaker is not Bhagavad, the audience is also not Shushta. Both the audience and the speaker be engaged in material activities as usual. What has been done? The Bhagavad Saptas is heard only for sages. And after finishing, both audience and the speaker both engage in the spiritual material activities. It is a Nityam Bhagavad Katha, not that once in a year or twice in a year you are hearing just Bhagavad Katha. Every day Bhagavatam Sevanam. Now, they are telling to Sutta Goswami, please describe the topics by which Maharaj Parikshit attained liberation. What wonderful topics he heard. We also want to hear the same topic. By just hearing the topic from Vyasa's son Sukadeva Goswami, Maharaj Parikshit attained liberation. We also want to hear the same topic. Savai Mahabhagavata Parikshit Kena Pavarga Kyamad Kena Pavargyakam Adabhra Buddhihi Kena Pavargyakyam Adabhra Buddhihi Jnanena Vaiyasaki Shabdidena Bheje Khagendra Dvajapada Moolam Savai Mahabhagavata Parikshit. Mahabhagavat Parikshit, what did he do? Yena apavarga akhyam adabhra buddhihi. He attained apavarga akhyam. Apavarga akhyam means the name. Akhyam means, you mute your phone na Prabhu. Again your phone, mute your phone. Nahi. Akhyam, you close the phone na. Akhyam, that means the name of liberation. Apavarga means no pavarga. Pa, fa, ba, bha, ma is out of that. Apavarga akhyam. Just by hearing that, how adapra buddhihi, by fixed intelligence, jnanena vaiyasaki shabditena, it was vibrated by Vaiyasaki's son. That is Vaiyasaki, that is son of Vyasa. And this knowledge was vibrated or told by Vyasa's son, that is Sukadeva Goswami. Bheje Khagaindraha. Khagaindraha. Garuda is known as Khaga Indra. Khaga means what? Birds. He is Indra of the birds. That means he is the king of the birds. Dhajapada Moolam. Dhajapada Moolam. In this way, Dhajapada Moolam, he has taken shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna. And in this way, even Parikshit Maharaj attained the lotus feet of Krishna. And he is the shelter. He is the shelter of Garuda also. He is the king of the birds. Dhajapada Moolam. Okay.
Mataji, how is Dhwaja fitting there?
That only
that
I'm
means
also seeing. How is Dhwaja fitting there? I'm also checking that. Saha Mahabhagavata Parikshit. I'm also checking that only. How is Dhwaja coming there? In what way Dhwaja has come? Let me see. Little Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur's commentary. Vaibhava Bhushan's commentary. Who has a flag with Garuda? Acha. Parikshit Maharaj attained the lotus feet of the Lord. Parikshit Maharaj's flag had Garuda. Please talk about Lord's activity by which Parikshit attained the lotus feet of the Lord, who has a flag with Garuda. Garuda is Krishna's Vahana, and Parikshit Maharaj had the flag with Garuda. Like Arjuna's flag had Hanuman. Isn't it? Hanuman was there in the flag of Arjuna. And the Parikshit Maharaj also has a flag with Garuda. Okay. So till now this much clue is there. Let us see what Prabhupada writes. Gandhi Prabhu, please read.
हरे कृष्णा माता जी, धन्यवाद, प्रणाम. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. There is some controversy amongst the students on the path of liberation. Such transcendental students are known as impersonalists and devotees of the Lord. The devotee of the Lord worship the transcendental form of the Lord, whereas the impersonalist meditates upon the glaring effulgence or the bodily rays of the Lord, known as Brahma Jyoti. Here in this verse, it is said that Maharaja Parikshit attained the lotus feet of the Lord by instruction in knowledge delivered by the son of Vyasadeva, Srila Sukadeva Goswami. Sukadeva Goswami was also an impersonalist in the beginning, as he himself had admitted in the Bhagavatam 2.1.9. But later on, he was attracted by the transcendental pastimes of the Lord and thus became a devotee. Such devotees with perfect knowledge are called Mahabhaktas or first-class devotees. There are three classes of devotees, namely the Prakarta, Madhyama,
Prakrita, Madhyamaha, Mahabhavat.
Prakrta, Madhyama and Mahabhagavat. The Prakrta or third class devotees are temple worshippers without specific knowledge of the Lord and the Lord's devotees. The Madhyama or the second class devotee knows well the Lord's devotees, the neophytes, and the non-devotees also. But the Mahabhagavatas or the first class devotees see everything in relation with the Lord and the Lord present in everyone's relation. The Mahabhagavatas therefore does not make any distinction particularly between a devotee and non-devotee. Maharaja Parikshit was such a Mahabhagavata devotee because he was initiated by a Mahabhagavata devotee, Sukadeva Goswami. He was equally kind even to the personality of Kali, and what to speak of others. So there are many instances in the transcendental histories of the Lord of an impersonalist who has later become a devotee. But a devotee has never become an impersonalist. This very fact proves that on the transcendental step, the step occupied by a devotee is higher than the step occupied by an impersonalist. It is also stated in Bhagavad Gita 12.5 that persons stuck on the impersonal step undergo more sufferings than achievements of reality. Therefore, knowledge imparted by Sukadeva Goswami unto Maharaja Parikshit helped him attain the service of the Lord. And this stage of perfection is called Apavarga, or the perfect stage of liberation. Apavarga, or the perfect stage of liberation. Simple knowledge of liberation is material knowledge. Actual freedom from material bondage is called liberation. But attainment of the transcendental service of the Lord is called the perfect stage of liberation. Such a stage is attained by knowledge and renunciation, as we have already explained. Bhagavatam 1.2.12. And perfect knowledge as delivered by Srila Sukadeva Goswami results in the attainment of the transcendental service of the Lord. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
Yes. So freedom from material bondage is known as liberation. But attainment of service is the perfect stage of liberation. We are not inclined to be free from the activities. We want to dovetail all the activities for Krishna, and that is devotional service. One is not afraid of cooking. One is afraid of cooking by forgetting Krishna. We don't want to forget Krishna. That fear is there. That is why we do all the activities for him. And that activity is a perfect stage of liberation. Tatra varam punyavasamam. Tatra na tannaha param punyam asamvritartham. Akhyanam atyadbhuta yoganishtham akhyayantat Charitopapannam Parikshitam Bhagavatabhiramam Tannaha Param Punyam Asamvritartham Bhutartham. So tell us. Naha means unto us. Punyam asamvritartham. Asamvritartham. Bhagavad Gita asamvritartham. What is the meaning? Bhagavad Gita as it is. What? Same thing. Asamvritartham. If you want to explain as it is, you should tell this. You know what is Bhagavad Gita asamvritartham? Already they are confused with this word as it is. When they will hear asamvritartham, what is that? Asamvritartham. Whatever I have heard is presented as it is. Asamvritartham. Atyadbhutam. Atyadbhutam. Atiyadbhutam. Atyadbhutam means Atiyadbhutam. What is Atiyadbhutam? What is Ati Adbhutam? The Lord's narrations are Ati Adbhutam. And then Yoganishtham. And Yoganishtham means complete understanding of the yoga. What is the perfection of yoga? Compact in Bhakti Yoga. Yoganishtham means understanding the purpose of yoga is to attain Bhakti. Akhyai, please describe. Akhyai, please describe. Somebody is going on calling me. Okay. Akhyai. Akhyai means describe. Ananta acharitam. Acharita. Ananta acharitaha. Ananta acharitaha. That means an unlimited activity. Upapannam. The activities, this description is full of unlimited activities. Parikshitam, whatever you have spoken, whatever Vyasa's son has spoken to Maharaj Parikshit, that were all spoken to him. By whom? By Vyasa's son, Bhagavata Abhiramam. So in this way, these activities are very dear to Krishna. Please mute your phone, Prabhu. Jai Mohan Prabhu. Mute your phone.
Excuse me, Mataji. Mataji, what is the difference between Acharita and Charita?
Huh?
Like here, Acharita, it's activities. Then what is Charita?
Acharitaha
Comes from Acharan, is it? Mataji?
Acharitaha. That means which is beyond the three modes of material nature.
Oh.
Acharitaha. When you put a, that is negation, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Charita means walking. Walking in this material world. But how? Without affected by these three modes of material nature.
Oh, very good.
That is
Beautiful.
Acharita. I thought somebody is going to ask me this. Acharitaha. The moment A comes, that means it is negation. But how it is? These activities are completely transcendental. Acharita also means completely transcendental. Okay? And they are completely yoga nishtham. Yoga nishtha. Again, the word is nishtha. Nishtha means fixed up in yoga. And what is that fixed up in yoga means bhakti. Okay? So tell us that thing. Which thing? Whatever you have heard. And whatever was heard by Parikshit Maharaj. When Sutta Goswami heard there, na? Now Shaunagadi Ashrishis also want to hear the same thing what was spoken by Vaiyasaki to Parikshit Maharaj. And by which Parikshit Maharaj got liberated or attained Apavarga. What competition, na? We also want to hear. But this competition is so wonderful. This competition is wonderful. And following the footprints of the Acharyas is so wonderful. following the footprints of the pure devotees. So wonderful. Okay. Who will read? Venkatesh Avatar Prabhu. If you are not having any disturbance in your connection, you can read.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Yeah.
What was spoken to Maharaj Parikshit and what is very dear to the pure devotees of Srimad Bhagavatam? Srimad Bhagavatam is mainly full of the narrations of the activities of the Supreme Unlimited, and therefore it is the science of Bhakti Yoga or the devotional service of the Lord. Thus, it is a para or supreme because although it is enriched with all knowledge and religion, so it is specifically enriched with the devotional service of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Now, just see. Suta Goswami has come to a place where Shaunakadi Rishi are performing sacrificial offerings. That is, all are Brahmanas. Sacrificial offerings can be done only by Brahmanas. Who is Suta? Suta means, Suta is actually a caste. A caste. Karna also belonged. Karna was called as Suta. Though Karna is not Suta, he is a Kshatriya. But Karna was called as Suta. Sun god's son is Surya's son, is and born to Kunti is Karna, but brought up by Suta. When Draupadi told him Suta, he was very much agitated. Suta is actually the uncultured way of marriage which has happened. A Brahmin girl going to a lower community, that is Kshatriya. If you compare Brahmana and Kshatriya, Kshatriya is lower than a Brahmana. If Kshatriya girl goes to Vaishya, Vaishya's girl go to Shudra's house. You cannot go in a lower caste. If you have to go in a higher caste. So these people are laughing here. This is what happens in the house if you give explanation. Now all sit and laugh there. Anyhow, the Brahmana girl cannot go to a Kshatriya's house. That is against the Vedic culture. But if a higher community girl goes in a lower community, then that community is known as Suta. Now Suta Goswami says, I have come from a mixed caste. This is known as mixed caste. Kshatriya should marry Kshatriya, Vaishya should marry Vaishya, Shudra should marry Shudras, Brahmana should marry Brahmana. But when it happens mixed caste, that is known as uncivilized community. Caste, we are not talking about mixed languages, mixed caste. You can select a Brahmana from other languages, not a problem. Caste should not be mixed. He says, you are eager to hear from me about Lord. You are all Brahmanas. I am coming from a mixed caste. But the glory of the holy name is, even though a person is disqualified, he attains the qualification to serve Krishna. Qualification to narrate about Krishna. So that is how he is glorifying. That how a person who is born in a mixed caste, still he is promoted in birthright just by serving and following the great who are advanced in knowledge. You said here, even by conversing with such great souls, one can cleanse himself of all the disqualification born from the lower birth. Sutuvacha aho vayam janma bhrutodya yasma vruddhanuvrityapi viloma jataha daushkulyamadhim vidunoti shikhram mahattamanam vidana yogaha aho vayam. How we, means he is mentioning about himself, how we janma vrutaha, how we are promoted in birth, adhyaha ha asmaha. Today I can see that. Why? Vritta anuvrittaya. I just serve those who are advanced in knowledge. Api Viloma Jataha. I am in from Viloma Jataha, means mixed caste. Daushkulyam. I have no qualification of birth, disqualification of birth. Adhim Vidunoti. Because of the disqualification of birth, I was suffering. But Vidunoti, I am completely purified. How? Even if a person is suffering because of disqualification, he can be immediately Shigram. Shigram. He can be purified. How? Just by hearing the conversation. Adhidhana, Abhidhana, of whom Mahattamanam, those who are Mahattamanam, great souls, who are connected, yoga, who are connected with Krishna, who are conversing about Krishna. Just by serving the great souls, aho vayam janma bhrutodhyayasma, vruddhanuvrityapi viloma jataha, daushkulyamadhi vidunoti. Vidunoti means dhulai kar diya. Dhula, vidunoti shigram. And how? Quick, ekdam fast. Even the soaps cannot clean. The high class soap, Tide, there so many things come in the market. I only know only one name. So many soaps come. Even that cannot clean. But Mahattamanam Abhidhana Yoga. Just by hearing the conversation about Krishna from the great source, immediately the person who is disqualified also gets cleansed up. Powerful verses. Okay, Mohit Prabhu, please read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Purport. Suta Goswami did not take his birth in a Brahmana family. He was born in a family of mixed caste or an uncultured low family. But because of higher association like Sri Shukadev Goswami and the great rishis of Naimisharanya, certainly the disqualification of inferior birth was washed off. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu followed this principle in pursuance of the Vedic usages, and by his transcendental association, he elevated many low-born or those disqualified by birth or action to the status of devotional service and established them in the position of acharyas or authorities. He clearly stated that any man, whatever he may be, whether a brahmana or shudra by birth, or a householder or mendicant in the order of society, if he is conversant with the science of Krishna, he can be accepted as an acharya or guru, a spiritual master. Suta Goswami learned the science of Krishna from great rishis and authorities like Shukdev, Vyasadeva, etc. And he was so qualified that even the sages of Naimisharanya eagerly wanted to hear from him the science of Krishna in the
Brahmanas
form
are
of Srimad
eagerly
Bhagavatam.
hearing. Brahmanas are eagerly hearing from Suta. Is it not a greatness? The most topmost fortune.
So he had a double association of great souls by hearing and preaching. Transcendental science or the science of Krishna has to be learned from the authorities, and when one preaches the science, he becomes still more qualified. Undoubtedly, he was completely free from all disqualifications of low birth and mental agonies. This verse definitely proves that neither Srila Shukadeva Goswami refused to teach Suta Goswami about the transcendental science, nor the sages of the Naimisharanya refused to hear lessons from him because of his inferior birth. This means that thousands of years ago, there was no bar in learning or preaching the transcendental science because of inferior birth. The rigidity of the so-called caste system in Hindu society became prominent within only 100 years or so when the number of Dvija Bandhus or disqualified men in the families of higher castes increased. Lord Sri Chaitanya revived the original Vedic system and he elevated Thakur Haridas to the position of Namacharya or the authority in the preaching of the glories of the holy name of the Lord. Although His Holiness Srila Haridas Thakur was pleased to appear in a family of Mohammedans, such is the power of pure devotees of the Lord. The Ganges water is accepted as pure and one can become purified after taking a bath in the water of the Ganges. But as far as the great devotees of the Lord are concerned, they can purify a degraded soul even by being seen by the lowborn. And what to speak of association? Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to purify the whole atmosphere of the polluted world by sending qualified preachers all over the world, and it remains with the Indians to take up this task scientifically and thus to do the best kind of humanitarian work. The mental diseases of the present generation are more acute than bodily diseases. It is quite fit and proper to take up the preaching of Srimad Bhagavatam all over the world without delay. Mahatta, Mahattamanam Abhidhana also means dictionary of great devotees, or a book full of the words of great devotees. Such a dictionary of the words of great devotees and that of the Lord are in the Vedas and allied literatures, specifically the Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Okay, now the question arises, is there any doubt that a person who has just heard the conversation about the glories of Lord is completely purified? Can anyone have the doubt in this statement? That is next asked. How can a person have a doubt in this? He can never have. Why? Because he has taken shelter of an unlimited person. That person who has unlimited powers. Even that unlimited power to destroy our prarabdha karmas. And what is a prarabdha karma? Our very birth is the prarabdha karma. And that too born in a mixed caste is a prarabdha karma. Born in a lower caste is a prarabdha karma. So how can the prarabdha karma be burnt? The question can come. Okay, one can think of aprarabdha karma, bija, kuta, that can burn. But how can prarabdha karma be burnt? Born in a Mlecha community, how is it that now he is preaching and having so many disciples? How it could be possible just by the association of pure devotee? Now see, when Prabhupada went to West, he did not have some Brahmanas there sitting. Here at least mixed caste is. There, even here, there is not even the question of mixed caste. There is nothing like caste also. Mlechas, they don't come in the caste also. At least mixed caste means Shudras, at least you can even, Shudras come in the caste system. Here, at least the Brahmanas goes to the Kshatriya's house, that is at least mixed caste. A person is not categorized in the caste only. How is it that they are preaching to the whole world? Just by the association of pure devotee. Can there be any doubt? The prarabdha karma is also burnt away. Difficult to burn the prarabdha karma, but only a pure devotee can burn the prarabdha karmas. And that we are seeing. Okay, this has been spoken 5,000 years before. Now, even in the current life, we are seeing that how just by taking shelter of Krishna, those who are born in a low community also get devotional service. Okay, let us read the verse. Kutaha punargulato namatasya mahattamaikanta parayanasya Yonanta Shaktir Bhagavananto Mahadgunatvad Yamanantamahu Kutaha Punar Gunato Namatasya Kutaha. What to say? Punha Gunantaha. He's chanting the name of Krishna. Tasya Mahattama, such great devotees. Ekanta Parayanasya. He has exclusively taken shelter of Krishna. Yahananta Shaktihi, and that person to whom he has taken shelter, he has unlimited potency and he is Bhagavan. Bhagavanantaha Mahadgunatvad. And because of his great attributes, he is also known as Ananta. He is also known as Ananta. So because of taking his shelter, all these qualifications have automatically come. That means even the prarabdha karmas of being born in a low caste or mixed caste, it also goes away. Because now description of Ananta Shakti has been spoken. He has Ananta Shakti. Shakti is where, why Shakti word has come? Why that power word has come? Power to destroy our prarabdha karmas. That is how the connection the acharyas do. Why suddenly Shakti is spoken? Ananta Gunaha, Mahat Guna, all this is okay, but why Ananta Shakti is told? And just now, what is the verse which Sutta Goswami says? I am born in a mixed caste. Then immediately you should understand how Acharya's right commentary, just see how they connect the verses. This is the self-realization, how they are connecting the verses. Just now mixed caste is spoken. Just now the fortune of speaking to Brahmanas has also come. Kutaha, from Kutaha, what to say? That means Kutaha means what to speak of his wonderful, what to speak. That means, is there any doubt? But for what to say, he says, is there any doubt? Kutaha, do you have any doubt? Like name has the capacity to change one's prarabdha karma. Because Nam and Nami are non-different. Nam and Nami are non-different. Nam itself has so much power that Prabhu Ram also could not understand how the stones of Hanuman and others are floating. He says, how is it that your stones are floating? Let me also throw one stone. That sunk. Now, how is it that my stone sunk? He said, because if you throw somebody, what will happen? Our stone contains your name. That is why it is floating. And if you throw someone, oh Lord, what will happen to him? So name and Nami both are same. As much as Lord has the power, Lord's name also has the power. Nam, what do you say? Chan.
Abhinnatvam Nama Namino.
Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa.
Second verse of Shikshashtakam chant.
Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti.
Nija Sarva Shakti. What is that Shakti that has been given here? The Shakti to remove the prarabdha karmas, which is very difficult to remove. You have got it, na? You have got such a horrible house. You are born in such a horrible house that it is impossible to remove. But only one thing can remove. What is that? Devotion. Even though you are born in a demonic family, but you are called as the highest, topmost devotee. Prahlad Maharaj, Bali Maharaj, which community they got? Demon community, no? But they are categorized as the topmost devotee. Bali Maharaj is counted among the Mahajanas. Prahlad Maharaj, Mahajanas. Bali Maharaj, Acharya for Atma Nivedanam. So in this way, birth has nothing to do with devotion. Yes, importance of doing Bhakti Vaibhava. Yes, what is the importance of doing Bhakti Vaibhava? To understand that birth has nothing to do with devotion. Even if a person is born in a militia family, no problem. If he does devotion, Lord doesn't see what birth you are. Lord sees, Mamai Vansho Jiva Loke Jiva Puta Sanatana. He is a Jiva who is my Ansha. He can be born in any community, but he is sincere in his devotional service. That is important. But that doesn't mean that you insult a Brahmana. So we have to be very careful. We have to be very careful. We have got the fortune to serve, then immediately take it very nicely. Don't insult anyone. Don't criticize anyone. Okay. Vrindavan Lila Mata Sri.
Hare Krishna. The Dvijabandhu, or the less intelligent, uncultured men born of higher castes, put forward many arguments against the lower caste men becoming Brahmanas in this life. They argue that birth in a family of Shudras or less than Shudras is made possible by one's previous sinful acts, and that one therefore has to complete the terms of disadvantages due to lower birth. And to answer these false logicians, Srimad Bhagavatam asserts that one who chants the holy name of the Lord under the direction of a pure devotee can at once get free from the disadvantages due to a lower caste birth. A pure devotee of the Lord does not commit any offense while chanting the holy name of the Lord. There are 10 different offenses in the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. To chant the holy name under the direction of a pure devotee is offenseless chanting. Offenseless chanting of the holy name of the Lord is transcendental, and therefore such chanting can at once purify one from the effects of all kinds of previous sins. This offenseless chanting indicates that one has fully understood the transcendental nature of the holy name and has thus surrendered unto the Lord. Transcendentally, the holy name of the Lord and the Lord himself are identical, being absolute. The holy name of the Lord is as powerful as the Lord. The Lord is the all-powerful personality of Godhead, and he has innumerable names, which are all non-different from him, and are equally powerful also. In the last word of the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord asserts that one who surrenders fully unto him is protected from all sins by the grace of the Lord. Since his name and he himself are identical, the holy name of the Lord can protect the devotee from all effects of sins. The chanting of the holy name of the Lord can undoubtedly deliver one from the disadvantages of a lower caste birth. The Lord's unlimited power is extended on and on by the unlimited expansion of the devotees and incarnations. And thus every devotee of the Lord and incarnations are also can be equally surcharged with the potency of the Lord. Since the devotee is surcharged with the potency of the Lord, even fractionally the disqualification due to lower birth cannot stand in the way. Hare Krishna Mataji.
So you know one story in Chaitanya Charitamrita? The nose is cut, challenges Haridas Thakur. Who can tell that story? The name has the power. Oh, exaggerating the name. The name, the nose is only wiped out. Okay, search and come back on Friday with that story. No, Thursday. Your class is on Thursday. I'm now so confused. Huh? Yesterday somebody asked, today class or tomorrow class? I thought like tomorrow is the class. It's actually Bhakti Shastri student. Anyhow, so come with that story where Haridas Thakur, where the glorification is done. And the challenge is given. Okay, any doubts in this? Any doubts? No
It's
doubt.
there, Mataji.
Yes, tell me.
Mataji, just a second, I'll open this. In 1.18.12, in the 12th shloka, Mataji, we can see the in the purport Prabhupada condemns the yajna and all that. And
He's not condemning. He's condemning the fruitive yajnas, not the yajna which enhances a person to serve more. There are doshas. The dosha nivaran can be done by some yajnas because we are not chanting very nicely, or chanting is enough, but we are not having the strength to chant. And what we are doing, we are engrossing because of our doshas. So if some yajna is done so that our devotional service grows, that has not been criticized. Graha doshas. Because of which, but intention is what? Most important is what is the intention behind a yajna. If spiritual, then it is counted in spiritual. If it is having the desire to just earn and all these things, if it is centered around Krishna, it is no, just by seeing some swaha, don't come to a conclusion, all this is material yajnas. No. Even Narsimha yajna is also done. Swaha. Is it material yajna?
no.
There is Durga yajna done. Just to get the power to kill all the people who are worst, who are against Lord. So killing the inimical attitude. What you kill? Inimical attitude. Huh? Begging to kill Durga to kill all the animosity. So anything centered around Krishna, Sudarshan yajna, Lakshmi Narayana yajna, Tulasi Yajna, Tulasi Vivaha Yajna. Whatever centered around Krishna can be done by a Vaishnava. He can be born in any caste. Samskara Yajnas cannot be done. That has to be done only by a Brahmana. Karma Sanskara Yajnas, 16 Shodashaka Yajnas are there. That Upanayanam Sanskara Yajna, Garbhadana, all these things, Vivaha Sanskara, Upanayan Sanskara, that has to be done only by a person who is born as a Brahmana and trained as a in the Yajna Vidhi. He has to be trained, not just born as a Brahmana. Many people are born as a Brahmana. All those are born as a Brahmana need not be a Brahmana. Brahmana is one who is trained in the Gurukul and who is learning the sanskaras, vidhi, how to perform. And that is 16 samskaras, they are not counted in the spiritual, but that has to be done to purify our body.
Very right.
So that the body is purified and we can use it in Krishna service. Karnachera sanskara. So many sanskaras are there. Vidyarambha sanskara.
Yes.
And every sanskara, why Karnachera? So that you hear about Krishna.
Mataji, I was also thinking like when we have initiation ceremony, that time also so many ceremonies are performed. We can have just the Harinam. Means I'm just giving an example like that. We
Fire
have so
is
many.
Yes, fire is the Yajna Purusha. You're taking woe before Yajna Purusha. Actually, see, immediately you see a fire, now don't come in a conclusion. Fire is Lord Himself.
Yes.
So when you are giving ahuti, you are giving wholly to Krishna. You are feeding Krishna through fire. Tongue of a Brahmana is compared to mouth of Krishna.
Yes. Yes.
Tongue of the fire, sacrificial altar, is compared to the tongue of Krishna. So when you are doing swaha, you are feeding Krishna. So we have to be very understanding what is actually what we are doing. So when the Pavitra, this is given, that is Harinam is given, at that time Krishna is kept as, and Swaha you are feeding. Ultimately everything is going, that is actually Vedic. How without a fire sacrifice, how can you perform? What is Yajna? Yajna is Ahuti. Without Ahuti, how Namakaran also happens. Even in the Namakaran also you see, you are born again. Na? That is your rebirth. Your name is changed. That is your Nama Sanskara. Actually, it's a Nama Sanskara only. Pancha Sanskara. In that 5 things are given to you. Tapa Nama Pundra, Yagaha, Mantraha, Mantranama Asya Yagaha, Amihi Pancha Sanskara. That is one Sanskara. Pancha Sanskara. That is why fire sacrifice.
Thank you, Mataji. One more question, Mataji. Like here we see the subject of Srimad Bhagavatam is so lofty, which it declares even at the beginning. And here when Prabhupada is writing the purport, many times we see that Prabhupada is giving very generalized statement, criticizing birth Brahmanas. I'm not able to understand that.
Prabhupada has criticized the birth Brahmanas who are not taking advantage of their birth. Prabhupada himself is a Brahmana. Why should he criticize a birth Brahmana? Unless a person is not utilizing his birth. Brahmana is supposed to know more about Krishna. But if he is not eager to know more about Krishna, Brahmana work is to perform sacrifice, no doubt. But he should know the purpose also.
Very true.
He should be eager to chant also. He should be eager to serve the Lord also. But being born in a Brahmana, he is not eager to serve Krishna. What is the use of being Brahmana? That is why when we select a Pandita, we select a Vaishnava Pandita.
Yes.
A Vaishnava Pandit should come and do. He should be a Brahmana also, at the same time Vaishnava also. We are not just interested in only Brahmana. We are interested in a Vaishnava Brahmana.
Rightly said. Actually, Mataji, like here you explain it so nicely. Your understanding is so clear, and little bit I can also understand. And but I see these kind of statements, Mataji, they are creating so much of confusion outside. Like I have myself read so many devotees, they are so exalted, they are so well read, so well versed, but the way they criticize these things, so, Mataji, it's very.
That is the cause of the downfall also. The moment
Yes.
we start criticizing the Brahmanas, we are not supposed to. Guna karma vibhagashaha. He has got the birth of a Brahmana respected. Krishna has given that because of his previous gunas. He has got it. We are not supposed to criticize any Brahmanas. Let them do whatever they want to do. But in the mind, pray, oh Krishna, give him love for you. Because he has got a wonderful birth. You can pray for that person. You cannot just generalize all the Brahmanas like that. No. But one thing is that he has guna karma vibhagasha. He has that. You can go and ignite him. You can ignite Krishna consciousness in him.
Yes.
Because he has the qualification to take it. Somewhere we are only at fault that we are not able to go and ignite. So instead of criticizing, we can give Krishna consciousness. Suppose a Brahmana has forgotten Krishna, not inclined to even hear about Krishna. Okay, what we call him? Brahma Bandhu.
Yes. Yes.
He is a Brahma Bandhu. Bandhu means he is one of the
relatives.
family member, relatives. Ignite him. Try out. Even though he is not hearing, what to do? Ravana also was a Brahmana only, no?
Yes.
Ravana was a Brahmana only. No? But Ravana was so atheistic. Not that every Brahmana becomes a devotee.
Yes. The goal of life is not to become a good Brahmana.
Goal of life is not, but his servant. So you can try out with a Brahmana, but if he is not hearing, then leave it. When Ravana did not hear Hanuman burnt whole Lanka. Still, he is so anti against. Hanuman showed, see, I am servant of Krishna. I have the power of burning the whole Lanka. If my Rama comes, he'll burn you. Warned, but even Hanuman could have done. Hanuman did not do intentionally. Let my Ram come and kill you.
Yes.
So it is not necessary that every Brahmana is a devotee. So Prabhupada is criticizing Ravana type Brahmanas.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mataji, for explaining. Hare Krishna.
Any other doubt? No doubt. Hari Bol.
Vaishnaveभ्यो नमो नमः अनंतकोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय।
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.